The TRD Off-Road Tacoma in Barcelona Red 2023 model. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to explain some of the details to you, starting off with this is going to get TRD off-road suspension, which is a Bilston shock absorber, skid plates in the front and the side, projected LED headlamps, daytime runnings, wide-angle fog lamps, gray for the grille with the structure that looks off-road oriented, and it serves a purpose, because that's what it should look like. When you option the TRD Sport, you'll have the TRD hood scoop. When you get into the off-road, you already know what this is. Pure ruggedness, nearly 10 inches of clearance, all-terrain tires set with 16-inch wheels. Option the Limited and you'll get an 18-inch. Flared out fenders. You don't need to option any HPD package for like a Honda Ridgeline. You're gonna get that style with the TRD Standard. 3.5 liter V6 with 275 horsepower, 268 pound-feet of torque, paired to an ECTI 6-speed electronically controlled automatic transmission, and that's going to receive 18 mpgs for the city, 22 mpgs for the highway. Option the Pro and you'll receive Fox internal bypass shock absorbers. Off-road traction control system with multi-terrain settings in rock crawl. Towing, you will lose 300 pounds, 6,500 pounds is max. Reverse parking cameras, reverse parking sensors with the 360-degree reverse camera, spare tire tucked underneath behind the tow hook, 5-foot bed with 60.5 inches long, a width of 56.7 inches between the wheel well housing at 41.5 inches, a height at 19.1 inches with a power inverter in the cargo bed. This is the V6. We need to go inside, start it up so you can hear that exhaust note. TRD off-road, no running boards. I would recommend it depending on how tall you are. I'm 6'3". Headroom starts at 39.7 inches. Legroom 42.9 inches, which is one of the better in class for legroom. 10-way power seat adjustment for the driver. 4-way manual adjustment for the passenger. Fabric seats, heated front seats. The dashboard is going to be more of the traditional Toyota with the Tacoma badging, and the passenger circular air vents that's going to wrap around. Push button start with an 8-inch infotainment screen with navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM streaming, Bluetooth audio. Put it into reverse. We have a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear. You can change the camera layout, but because it's 360, I wouldn't. You can take those lines off as well, but that will make it easier for your tow lineup or to get in and out of a parking. Dual climate control settings, a USB, 12-volt, wireless charging pad, and the cup holders that expand depending on the size of your drink, leather wrapped on the gear lever and on the park brake. You have a storage pocket right here in front of the cup holder. It's going to be more sport derived. Open up and it's a deep storage pocket with another USB port. Steering wheel is a 4-spoke multi-function. The gauge cluster has a 4.2 TFT display in the center that can go through an array of information for the driver. Otherwise, it's analog for your odometer and your tachometer. The dashboard and the door panels close in together, more of your everyday material, and that's what you would expect for the TRD off-road. One touch up and down only for the front windows, and a storage pocket that has a couple of beverage holders cut out in the front with the upgraded JBL sound system. And a sunroof. For the back seats, headroom is at 38.3 inches and it is carved out, but if I move to the left, if I'm behind the driver, or the right behind the passenger, even kind of forward, I will hit my head on the headliner. Leg space at 32.6 inches, so it's going to be tighter than the Honda Ridgeline and the new Chevy Colorado. The seats will lift up at a 40-60 split with lockable containers underneath. And you can also fold down the seats at a 40-60 split, increasing cargo inside with some more storage nooks in the back. Cup holders in the center with storage behind only the passenger seat. The door panel is going to be the same as the front, so everyday materials, software it needs to be, with a couple of beverage holders cut out and a storage pocket for a smaller cell phone. Sitting into the center, headroom is actually going to be better than sitting in the sides. Leg space, however, will not be. I'm against the back of the front seats in the position I'd be sitting, sharing butt and shoulder space because of it. Feet space is good because the rails are pushed up more so than any of its competition. 3.5 liter V6, 278 horsepower with 268 pound-feet of torque. What do you get all together? Well, we're going to have increased ride height, nearly 10 inches. And if you go to the Pro, over 11 inches. The front and the rear will be 0.5 to 1.5 inches more in the Pro than the off-road. So depending on how much you want to do for rock crawling or off-road capabilities, both of them are going to be tuned with the TRD Sports suspension. This one, or off-road suspension I should say, built-in shock absorbers. Here we go. The drive is going to have a little bit of feel for the imperfections in the road, but for the most part it is actually settle, considering these are all-terrain tires, and a lot of that is derived because it's a 16-inch wheel setup. Once you start getting 18 and 20-inch wheels, it starts making a little bit more where you feel any of the potholes in the road. I like how we sit up higher. There is some things I like and dislike, and that's what we're going to touch bases on. Starting off with what I like about the vehicle, besides the ground clearance, is we got the V6. We have enough power to do rock crawling and a day in and day out use. 0 to 60, you're gonna reach it under 8 seconds, so it's quick enough, and you get pretty decent MPGs out of the V6 engine. The second thing that I like is how you can split fold the rear bench, and you got some lockable storage underneath it, plus you got some nooks behind the seat when you fold them down, so it makes it a little bit more user-friendly because a trunk inside the bed like you do the Ridgeline. The last thing that I like about the vehicle, you can do all these activities off-road, but on-road, you have towing capacity better than a Wrangler. Some things I dislike about the vehicle: leg space. It is one of the worst in class, and it's actually more comfortable to sit into the center than it is onto the sides. The last thing that I dislike is they don't give you as many skid plates as you would get in other off-roading vehicles. You really only have 2, in which when you're doing some of your off-road maneuverabilities, you could hurt some of the components underneath this vehicle. Turn radius at a stop point is going to receive 3 lanes, which I would expect that for a vehicle over 212 inches long. Once it gets motivated, it's ready to go. Naturally aspirated, I do like that because everything's going turbo or hybrid, in which you still have full capabilities when you get the Tacoma to do all the activities you need for day in and day out use. I'd like to thank Stadium Toyota for giving us this 2023 Toyota Tacoma TRD Off-Road for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video and the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise, website, Instagram, leave a comment and a like.